Round 7 of the 2022 Euroformula Open Championship takes place right here, right now, at the home of the Austrian Formula One Grand Prix. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to one of the most picturesque circuits in the world. This is the third last round of the 2022 championship. This is, of course, the Red Bull Ring. As the cars come out onto the circuit under threatening skies here this afternoon, we have had torrential downpours throughout the weekend. For the moment, the track is dry, although we will have officially declared the race wet. Oliver Gota took his 6th pole position in a row of the season earlier on today. Vladislav Lonko to start out of Group 2, Christian Mansell and Josh Mason, who won last week at Imola out of 4. Freddie Lubin and Francesco Simonazzi, Ayrton Simmons, welcome back to the championship. Alex Garcia and Daniel Nogales, the Spaniard who last year was racing in the Spanish Kart Racing Championships for Kart Republic, makes his debut in the Euroformula Open Championship. This is the pole sitter, Oliver Gota.
And it's again pole position, 6 out of 7, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, no, it was a really good quali. We're aiming to get 3 laps in the second stint, but only got 2, so there was a bit more pressure to get that lap done. And I managed to do it on the first lap. Made a few mistakes in the second lap, so that prevented me to improve. But no, it was a good lap. Still not perfect, so still stuff to work on. But yeah, really happy with it.
And of course, the conditions are changing constantly during the weekend. How you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, if it's dry, it's dry. If it's wet, it's wet. Whatever condition, I'll give it my best go. And yeah, I can't decide what it's going to be. So whatever it is, I'll do my best and try to get the win.
In the words of Oliver Gota, the pole sitter, the championship leader, if it's dry, it's dry. If it's dry, it's dry. If it's wet, it's wet. Well, it's sort of both, because for the moment, the track is largely dry as the Motor Park team down in pit lane. But there are parts of the circuit which are still very, very wet, courtesy of a downpour earlier this afternoon. Oliver Gota is the championship leader and the pole sitter in car 96. Vlad Lonko, who was provisionally on pole position, as the DriveX team back with us in the Euroformula Open Championship, with Ayrton Simmons and Daniel Nogales prepare the Michelin wets. Welcome to the home of the Austrian Formula One Grand Prix. Round 7 of the 2022 Euroformula Open Championship. The green flag at the back of the grid, the 5 red lights. For the first time this weekend, we race. Fantastic start by Vlad Lonko, goes up the inside and takes the lead away from the championship leader. Mansell tries to go into 2nd place. Ollie closes him off, now tries to retake the lead. They race up the hill for the first time. Nice start by Ayrton Simmons as Simonazzi tries the outside of the Brit, Freddie Lubin. Gota on the outside. And it's Lonko on the inside. Mansell tries to dart up the inside there, 4 wide, almost into turn 3. Ollie Gota on the outside, sideways on the exits. Gota, the championship leader, forced back into position 2 off the start. Retakes the lead as they race down the hill for the first time. Mansell is almost in the grass. Fantastic start as well for Josh Mason. Lonko has not given up on taking the lead here this afternoon. Gota leads them down the hill for the first time. Race 103 Euroformula Open, the most beautiful junior single-seater cars in the world. Absolutely spectacular on the opening lap of this 21-lap race. Ian Silvestrin with you in commentary, joined by George Morgan. What a start by Vlad Lonko. Took the lead away from Ollie Gota, but the championship leader back in position 1.
Yeah, Ollie Gota getting off to a really, really good start. Lonko getting an even better one. Safety car. Safety car, oh dearie me. Daniel Nogales, fresh from Spanish F4, now in the gravel trap. And dismay on the face of the DriveX driver, making his first race appearance here in the Euroformula Open Championship. The car's now settling down with safety car conditions now full course yellow here at this point. Lonko in 2nd after trying to tag back Ollie Gota, didn't get ahead. This is the moment. Oh, just got rear-ended. That was contact with none other than Alex Garcia, the Mexican, actually going off the track. Garcia looks like he's able to keep his car going, or did he? Big question marks around that.
The 2 Spanish-speaking drivers coming together on the opening lap of the race. Nogales parked in the gravel. And we believe Alex Garcia has been able to rejoin way down the field. He'll catch up to the back of the pack, we believe, as Daniel Nogales steps out of the car. Welcome to Euroformula Open. Welcome to World Formula 3 for the young Spaniard. That was a brutal introduction to this fabulous junior single-seater championship. He's out on the opening lap of the race.
Yeah, absolutely right indeed. Not ideal at all for Daniel Nogales. He's got to try and dust himself down. Obviously, we've got more races tomorrow, but not the best way to start. And there is Garcia.
No.
Alex Garcia. He is certainly not going to get that car back underway. He comes out of the cockpit, and that's the end of his race. A real electrifying start here to this first race in the Euroformula weekend here at Austria. And that is going to be a very, very despondent Alex Garcia. But there we go. Certainly, it's going to be down to 7 cars now. Simmons now, the back marker. Simonazzi ahead of him, Lubin in 5th, Mansell 4th, Mason with a great start up into 3rd place, though Goethe, untouchable at this moment in time, on top ahead of Vladislav Lomko.
Well, Alex Garcia was able to drive out of the gravel trap, which has been compacted over the last couple of days thanks to the heavy downpours we've had. But obviously the 24 motor park car is damaged. And Garcia and Nogales, after coming together in spectacular fashion at that corner right there, a lap ago, are both out. So Oli Goethe is the race leader. He is the championship leader. He took his 6th pole position of the season. He's almost got one hand on the championship trophy, although the likes of Christian Mansell and Vlad Lomko would like to dispute that fact. Lomko in P2, Josh Mason up into 3rd place, went by the Australian in the early stages. So there is Mansell ahead of Freddie Lubin. Francesco Simonazzi, he has just got better and better in the last few rounds of the championship on the podium in one of his home rounds at Imola 6 days ago. The BVM Racing driver, 84 going through. There is Ayrton Simmons, 2nd in the British Formula 3 Championship. A very late call-up to join us back in the Euroformula Open Championship. Great to have him back on the grid. Great to have DriveX back with us. And yes, we do realise as we look at Alex Garcia, the motor park driver who has retired, we do realise it's not the biggest grid in the world, but stay with us. There is good news on the way, and the grid will swell in the coming rounds, and certainly it does have a bright future looking to 2023. Oli Goethe, the pole sitter, the race leader, the championship leader in car 96, 14 motor park, will lead the field away. The safety car to pull into pit lane at the end of this lap. Watch Christian Mansell. It was his mother's 40th birthday yesterday here at the pits. We'll say it's her 40th birthday. He'd like nothing better to give her a nice birthday present. Josh Mason, great run of form from him last week at Imola in 3rd place. Interesting, I'll just say his father James was wearing an Alpha Tauri jacket in the pits. That's all I'll say.
They're a fabulous family. Certainly the Mason family. Sisters usually support Josh as well from home. As now the safety car comes in, Oliver Goethe leading the contingent through as they come through the final corner on this particular lap. Certainly only 2 laps completed so far. A few of them under the safety car as well as Oli Goethe now. Green flags wave and his pedal to the metal for the 2nd time in this race now. Vladislav Lomko in 2nd, getting closer to Oli Goethe. Might fancy a run up towards Remus. In behind as well, Mason holds on to 3rd. Mansell in 4th, Freddie Lubin in 5th. Simonazzi still clutching on the rear there in 6th as well, with Simmons not far behind either. Goethe now leading the train up through towards Remus now. This next right-hander at turn 3. Lomko perhaps looking to open the door, switches to the outside, maybe through the inside as well, as in comes Mansell. Mansell now up into 3rd place, goes ahead of his teammate there, Josh Mason. A flash there of blue rear wing, and he found his way up into 3rd. A wonderful move indeed, and that promotes his position up a place now with Mason hovering on him behind. Lomko goes for a late lunge as well around Slosh Gold. Fancies a go at Goethe. Goethe though, too good. The Great Dane holds on to P1.
Fabulous pass by Christian Mansell to go by Josh Mason into 3rd place as Vlad Lomko all over the back of Oli Goethe. As we get confirmation that due to that incident, we are going to be time limited. There is a noise restriction here in Austria. We'll leave that aside for the moment as we concentrate on this battle for the lead for the race. Race 1 of 3 here this weekend. Goethe Lomco, and there is Christian Mansell in dynamic form. He's done fastest middle sector, the fastest middle sector of the race, and he's already dropped off Josh Mason, Freddie Lubin, the two British drivers, 4 and 5. Then we go to Simonazzi, good restart also from Anton Simmons in the 12 Drive X car. Lomco, the Po Grand Prix winner, on the back of the championship leader. Mansell going through the gap between those two drivers, 7/10 of a second. Christian Mansell with a 1:26.41 is the fastest driver on the circuit. They race up the hill for the third time, the fourth time I should say. Lomco, will he send it down the inside? Not this time. There's Mansell, there's Mason, Lubin, Simonazzi, and another British driver, Anton Simmons, for the Spanish team. In 7th place, the two Spanish-speaking drivers, Garcia and Nogales, is out. As Mason, behind Mansell, just tries to get the slipstream as they go down the back straight. Simonazzi on the back of Freddie Lubin in car 78, the Brit on your screen. Mason in position 4 after a fabulous run 6 days ago at Imola. Now Goethe tries to find some momentum, some rhythm, and he pulls away. He's got a couple of car lengths now between himself and the adopted French driver. As Simonazzi, ragged over the ribble strip, is the Italian in car 84 for BVM Racing. Absolutely spectacular are these race cars. The Dallara EF320, possibly the best racing car Dallara has ever built. It is like a missile, particularly at a fast circuit like the Red Bull Ring here in Austria. They already come across the line. Goethe will check the gap. It was 6/10 of a second last time. It's down to 8/10. Ollie is pulling away. He's almost got one hand on the championship trophy for 2022 and potentially yet another race win here this afternoon. Mansell tries to close in on the back of Lomco. Now the field settled down into a rhythm. Mason, Lubin, Simonazzi. There is Christian. Car 71 back with us, along with Ollie Goethe after racing in a couple of rounds of the FIA Formula 3 Championship in cars which are not so much faster than these Dallara EF320 cars, despite the fact that the FIA F3 cars have got a V6 engine putting out almost 400 horsepower. Now Lomco closes in on the back of Goethe. The gap down to 6/10 of a second at 25.51. Last time round for Ollie Goethe, the championship leader.
Yeah, Goethe now making his way through the next left. Mansell currently in 3rd, Lomco still in between the pair. Now these three all contesting for the championship. Lomco obviously leading the way in the rookie championship. Be looking to try and maximise his points in order to progress certainly that stint in the championship, though you can tell that he will want the overall one that Goethe currently holds the lead of. Of course, Goethe looking to try and match or even surpass that of Felipe Drugovic's win record here in the Euroformula Open Championship. That stands at 14. If Goethe makes it 15, he'll hold the record. He's got 9 right now. This one could be 10 as now they make their way in towards turn 1. Lomco in behind as well. They venture through. 16 laps remain here in this race as now we see them now hightail up through towards turn 2 and 3. And there's the team certainly at Motor Park watching on as they do make the almighty climb. Of course, Timo now fresh out of the overalls after his stint in GT Open this afternoon as they now head up through towards the next 90-degree right-hander. Still Goethe with the advantage. Mansell not far behind Lomco with Josh Mason, who's now down in 4th with certainly a little bit of company. Freddie Lubin, who was such a defensive beast certainly in our last event at Imola, certainly did manage to cultivate a great display against the likes of Ollie Goethe, who was trying for a podium place. As now we see Lomco urging closer and closer. A lock up there from Mason as that could open up the door for Freddie Lubin, who has certainly the attacking essence on his mind here at this point during the race. He's got Simonazzi behind him though. Simonazzi fastest in practice in FP2. So you'd expect him to go certainly a little bit better as well. He's been gaining and gaining all the time, getting faster and faster. A sensational effort from the Italian this season.
George, did you see how late Lomco was under brakes at the end of the back straight? And he's just gone fastest, a 1:25.38. Oliver Goethe races down the hill, gets some momentum, gets some drive, but incredibly late under brakes. As we see Freddie Lubin run very wide. We'll check the gap. It was 6/10 of a second. It's down to 4/10 of a second. Lomco, very impressive. He's found something.
He certainly has indeed. And have a look at this as well. Simonazzi's also found something. Lubin now getting closer to that front wing on the BVM car. A good run is what's required. Fastest lap for Christian Mansell. And he'll certainly hold on to that. He's trying to get closer to Lomco. Lomco now very close to Goethe as they now make the climb up towards Remus now. Goethe opting for the inside line to defend against the ever-present Vladislav Lomco, who now on the outset might fancy a run down towards Schloss Gold. Has a lovely run indeed. He's plugged right into the rear of that Motor Park Golf livery car. Goethe has really got to put in a defensive stint now as Lomco round the outside cannot switch to the inside. He's got too much car alongside Goethe. He cannot find the move. Goethe once again defending, holding on to that lead. A special move indeed. Great effort indeed from Lomco, just not quite enough to usurp that of the Great Dane.
Fabulous defensive driving from Oliver Goethe. Still holds the race lead, still holds the championship lead. Here comes Mansell in position 3. Not the biggest field in history, but it is fantastic racing. Round 7, the 2022 Euroformula Open Championship. And you can see there are raindrops starting to appear on our cameras around the Red Bull Ring circuit. Mansell in position 3 on the back of Lomco. There is Josh Mason. Simonazzi runs off the circuit out of the Jochen Ring curve. Still in position 6 is the Italian. The gap was 0.5 of a second last time round and stays the same. Mansell now trying to attack Lomco. Has he blown his shot to take the race lead away from Oli Goethe? There is Mason, P4, car 21, Simonazzi, P6. And Freddie Lubin in between Josh and Francesco. Now Vlad Lomco gets the toe as they race up the hill. Mansell in position 3 in car 71. Very late under brakes is Vladislav Lomco, the Australian, in position 3. The first Brit, that's Josh Mason. 78, his countryman, Freddie Lubin, as Ayrton Simmons runs wide in the background, was driving superbly on his return to Euroformula Open in the 12 DriveX car, but has just lost a bit of time as he runs off the circuit. Incredibly late under brakes once again as they race down the hill as we approach half race distance, race 1 of 3, round 7 of the 2022 championship.
Yeah, indeed, Goethe still holding his own. The gap now just below 0.5 of a second. Lomco still there, Mansell there too, and trying to usher in the deficit between him and Lomco. Would like nothing more to get past that Vladislav Lomco, so that can open up a potential move on Oli Goethe. There's Josh Mason, fresh after a win at Imola, his second of the season as well. And certainly really come alive at this point in the championship too. Lubin, who of course can be a very stern defensive driver as well. We've got car 71, that's Mansell. 24, that belongs to that of Alex Garcia, as well as 96, Oliver Goethe. Reprimand, warming tyres after safety car line, or SC line. So there you see, folks, there's a little bit of a reprimand there for you for warming up the tyres the way they did. So I'm sure that the stewards are very, very busy this afternoon with track limits, etc. But also there are plenty of other things to be aware of, certainly when it comes to single-seater racing. Goethe now heading up towards the next right-hander. The Dane still holds onto the lead, though Mansell now starting to creep up on Lomco, who in turn creeps up on Goethe. It only takes one little bit of slipstream. Obviously, Goethe doesn't have the benefit of that right now, obviously being the fact that he's leading this race. Lomco trying to get closer, leading down towards Schloss Gold with 13 laps to go. Not quite enough to usher in a move, but there's still plenty of time, certainly for him. Mansell in behind, who's been ushering in the fastest lap. The last fastest lap was on lap 7. Most of that belonging to Christian Mansell right now. 4/10 in behind Lomco and getting closer. Mason as well there too. Have a look at this. Simonazzi, who has not left the rear of Freddie Lubin, the Italian, once again looking very vibrant in that BVM car.
Francesco Simonazzi using every piece of the racetrack and then some. He'll be disappointed with 6th place. Was fastest, as you mentioned, George, in free practice. He's back in 6th behind Freddie Lubin, head of Ayrton Simmons. Trying to find a way past car 78 of Frederick. Comes over from the British Formula 3, the GB3 Championship in England. And he's running in position 5. They race down the straight. We are approaching half race distance. The sky is getting dark. The temperature is dropping. It is dry for the moment. And the Michelin slicks are being absolutely tortured at this 4.3-kilometre circuit. Oli Goethe now finds a rhythm. He's just done a 1:25.11, and he's got 0.9 of a second between himself and the Pau Grand Prix winner, Vladislav Lomco. Mansell in position 3 in this battle for 4, 5 and 6. Josh Mason, Freddie Lubin and Francesco Simonazzi. Great step up to Euroformula Open for Simonazzi. There is. I told you in the introduction, do we disregard the jacket? Let's just say...
It's a fashion statement, obviously.
Just that, nothing more.
Yeah, absolutely right. The Mason family watching on.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh Mason currently sat in 4th place. His family watching on, as always, being forever that supportive beacon for him. And such a wonderful paddock we have here in the Euroformula Open Championship. Simonazzi trying to get closer and closer to that of Freddie Lubin. Again, taking as much circuit as he can as he now ushers his way through this next portion of the circuit. Freddie Lubin very much aware of that luminous yellow that's currently in behind, the luminous yellow nose of that BVM racing car belonging to that of Francesco Simonazzi, who goes for the move down the inside now. He did say to me in Hungary he needed to be more aggressive, more potent behind the wheel of that car. He showed it in Hungary. He also showed it at Imola as well, and he's showing it again, just letting Freddie know that he is there as they now head up towards turn 1 now. Christian Mansell also getting closer to Lomco, had arguably a better exit heading out of turn 1 with Mason in behind as well as they rumble over the curbs and over the sausage curb as well, with Simonazzi now starting to get closer and closer. They've got Remus up next. Simonazzi is starting to get closer to that rear wing, goes up alongside now Freddie Lubin. A late on the brake maneuver perhaps in tow as now Francesco looks for that move. The Italian now still side by side. Lubin shuts the door. Lubin with the defensive effort again, similar to what we saw last time out at Imola, where he was keeping Ollie Goethe at bay. He's doing the same to Simonazzi. What a moment.
Fantastic racing from Francesco Simonazzi on the back of Freddie Lubin. Great performance from Francesco, racing in the past few seasons in the Italian F4 Championship. And with all due respect, didn't really stand out, but boy, has he found some speed with BVM racing in the Euroformula Open Championship. Shook the car down in 2021 in the Top Jet Series at Imola in an all-black car, and has come for a full-out attack on the 2022 Championship. Has been on the podium, was quick in practice. He's P6, trying to find a way by the Brit. Lonco going through. There is Mansell as we now pass half race distance, race 1, under increasingly dark skies. The gap between Ollie Goethe and Vladislav Lonco in second place is now 1.2 seconds. Mansell will try and get the run as they race up the hill. There is Mason, there is Lubin, there is Simonazzi, and a good recovery also from Anton Simmons, who ran off the road a few laps ago, and he's trying to drag himself back into this battle as well. Mansell gets the tow as they race up the hill into turn 3. Vlad knows it, tries to cover him off. Mansell dives down the inside. Nicely done by the Australian. Up into position 2 as well.
Great move indeed for Mansell, and now he's got Lomco once again looking to try and take him back in towards the next right. Goes to the outside now, side by side they remain, wing to wing, as now Lomco goes hunting this time. Mansell though, with stern defending later on the brakes, a test of strength between the pair. Mansell just on top on this occasion. Lomco looked like he might have had a run on the outside, though it's very tough for Slosh Gold in order to carry that sort of speed, as now Mansell heads through the next left at the Berth and Roche curves. Goethe now, with this battle that's ensuing here in second place, can take full advantage. He is now sprinting away. This is the replay. What an excellent move indeed. Just left it late, tucked himself inside, and now the Crypto Tower car moves his way up to second.
Fabulous move by Mansell. Here is his mother watching on from pit lane, and he's already dropped off Vladislav Lonco, so he has really got some speed in the 71 car. We'll check the gap. Last time around it was 1.6 seconds, 1.8 seconds, but Mansell's just done a quick middle sector. Simonazzi still trying to hassle and get by Freddie Lubin. There is Simmons, good recovery, fantastic drive in fact. Welcome back to Euroformula Open to Ayrton Simmons in the 12 DriveX car. Simonazzi gets the slipstream on the back of Freddie Lubin as they race up the hill. We'll try and put it down the inside. Lubin covers him off. No problem, says Francesco. Tries the outside line. Lubin puts the 78 car in the middle of the circuit. Ollie Goethe, P1. Mansell now up into P2, 1.7 seconds behind the race leader. Lomco, Mason, Lubin and Simonazzi on your screen. Will he dive down the inside? Indeed, he does, just sends it. But Lubin covers him off. Fantastic racing. Race 1, round 7, the 2022 Euroformula Open Championship here at the Red Bull Ring. Goethe 1.7 seconds ahead of Mansell still. He has dropped off already. 6/7 of a second back to Vladislav Lonco, who did briefly lead the race at the very start, you may remember. Here is the race leader, Ollie Goethe. Exits turn 1, the Niki Lauda curve. Almost can see the whites of his eyes Simonazzi still trying to find a way by Freddie Lubin. Well into the second half of this race here this afternoon. Let's hope we can get it in. It is a time-limited race. We cannot go by 6 p.m. We've got 10 minutes and, 8 laps to race. It'll be tight.
It certainly will be a close one to call, that's for sure. Simonazzi once again getting closer to Lubin. And as they do so, on their run up to Remus, you can see there Lubin opted to take as much of the right-hand side of the circuit as possible. Simonazzi, not content with that, does go looking. And unfortunately isn't able to find a way through, but will have an excellent speed carry heading out to that particular portion of the circuit, now rushing down towards Slosh Gold. And as he makes his way through, nose to tail between the pair.
George, look at Simmons in the background. He has come from a mile back to join into this battle as well.
Yeah, coming through now, Simmons just tucking himself in behind that of Simonazzi. Still, though, Simonazzi trying to pepper that rear of Lubin, trying to find a way through, just put the pressure on, put himself in the mirrors, try and enforce him to make a mistake as they head through the Roche and Berth curves. There's Simmons, who's now trying to get closer. He's managed to catch right up there to Simonazzi as they now head through this next left. We've got a three-way tussle for this 5th place spot. He's turning on the style now, Ayrton Simmons, here this time as they head down in towards the next right. Already a podium sitter after a huge effort at Hungary earlier this season. He makes his return here to the Red Bull Ring and starts getting closer to Simonazzi. He might have big ambitions on his mind at this point with just 7 laps still to go. As you can now see, it's still Lubin there, holding on to that position in 5th. Simonazzi right on his tail, now showing in every single mirror he can as they now ride up towards turn 1. They'll have the long ascent leading up towards Remus again, when we know Simonazzi is oh so good. He's already turned the screw there a few times. He'll certainly look to try and do it again very shortly. There's Goethe with a 2-second advantage ahead of that of Christian Mansell.
George, it is raining. We are getting word from race control. It is raining at that corner right there as the leaders go through. We watch Simonazzi, Lubin, Mason and Ayrton Simmons. What a performance from Ayrton Simmons. He has come from the clouds. He's joined in this battle with Francesco Simonazzi and Frederick Lubin, but we are getting word that it is raining at the top of the hill.
Yeah, it certainly is, and certainly the weather contrasting at different points of the track. It is known to happen here at Austria. We've seen it before.
They've slowed up. Sorry, George, they've slowed up, definitely.
Yeah, definitely slowing up there. Christian Mansell lifting off slightly. This helps Goethe out considerably. 2.1 seconds now the gap. Vladislav Lomko also behind Mansell. It's a case of who dares wins, I think, at this point. Josh Mason in 4th, Frederick Lubin in 5th still. There's Goethe making his way through the latter part of this circuit. There's now Christian Mansell. He's certainly going to try and marshal off the approaches from Lomko. Lomko getting closer all the time. I have to tell you, maybe Lomko has a little bit more confidence, I think, in his car right now as opposed to what Mansell has, as we now watch them flash past the commentary box and coming up towards turn 1. Goethe leads in behind. Mansell in 2nd place. Lomko urging closer and closer. Now remember, they're going to make the climb up through to where the rain is coming down. Lomko really scrapping over the top of those curbs as now they make the ascent. You can see them now all in tandem. Goethe, we just saw in picture, flying up towards turn 3. There's Mansell in behind as well with Lomko, who's looking for that 2nd place, retaking it back off. Mansell runs very wide though, but that could give him a little bit of extra overspeed heading down through towards what will be turn 4. Here it comes now. Oh, we got a battle. Lubin and Simonazzi. Oh, he spun. Simonazzi has spun. He's off the track at Remus. That's the rain. The rain that was coming down at turn 3 has really dampened the circuit up at that top end, forcing Simonazzi wide. He spins off track, and that's not ideal at all, allowing Ayrton Simmons through.
It's all come alive in the dying stages of this race. Heartbreak for Francesco Simonazzi, but it is raining at turn 3. Take a look at this. Up the inside, it became the outside, tried to accelerate, tried to take Freddie Lubin, went around, a complete 360, did well to keep it off the wall, grabbed a gear and rejoins the race. And look who's benefited. Ayrton Simmons, who did not get a chance to test, did not even get on the simulator. In fact, we saw him in the car park here at the Red Bull Ring on Thursday night, and it was a case of welcome back to Euroformula, Ayrton Simmons. The Drivex car is up into 6th place, has caught up to that battle earlier on. He was 3 seconds back after running off the road in the early stages of this race. He's now in P6. A stunning drive from Ayrton Simmons. It may not sound like much, but what a performance, what a comeback for both Ayrton Simmons and the Drivex racing team. Oliver Goethe, the gap was 1.9 seconds, it's down to 1.7 seconds. This part of the circuit, it is wet. It was raining a few laps ago. They are looking for grip on the outside. They use the hill, in fact, to slow the car down. There is Josh Mason, race winner twice in 2022. Lubin, and there is Anton Simmons in the DriveX car. Fights the steering wheel. He's in P6. Can he catch up to his countrymen, plural, Lubin and Mason?
Yeah, it's getting closer between them all now. Certainly Simmons trying to urge closer to Freddie Lubin, who's just ahead of him. Mason leading that British contingent in 4th, 5th and 6th. There's Mansell, who's now looking to try and close up 1.3 seconds in behind that of Goethe, and he has closed up quite considerably. It was 7 tenths.
Massively, he's taken 7 tenths of a second out of him. Sorry, George, the gap was 1.9 seconds. Here comes Mansell. The gap is now 8 tenths of a second. Mansell is flying. The championship leaders, 1 and 2. On the road here, they're pulled away from Vladislav Lonko, who was the early race leader. The dying stages of race 1, Mansell has found something spectacular. It is easier to chase than it is to lead. Oliver Goethe knows it. In the dying stages, Mansell has got him in his sights. The driver from Newcastle, north of Sydney in Australia. In second place is Goethe. Has to back out of the throttle to keep the car straight. What on earth? Sorry, flashbacks of what, Silverstone 2003, Hockenheim a few years ago. Let's go back to the battle for the front. A bizarre moment as Mansell sends it up the inside. He's gone through and taken the lead. The red flag is out.
Yeah, red flag out. Red flag out.
Earth?
Incredible moment. I mean, obviously we saw someone walking across the circuit. Red flag is out, folks. Mansell had overtaken Goethe leading up towards turn 3. Now this is a complication, to say the least. Obviously, the two of them still together. Goethe has forfeited that position to Mansell, at least for now, on track. Obviously, we will get some news as to what's happening, though, folks. Red flag, though.
We will have to go back a
stoppage. Yeah, we will have to go back a lap indeed. So that freezes essentially the timer, the lap timer as well. Puzzled faces in the garage as well as to what might have happened. But there you can see Lomco in 3rd. Of course, Mason still in 5th. Lubin has lost a place to Simonazzi on our timing screen. I'm just wondering whether it may have something to do with Simonazzi as the timing tower sorts itself out. But strange moment in this race.
George, I'm putting 2 and 2 together here, and I might end up with 7, but possibly the marshals out on the circuit had got word from race control that the race had been red flagged, and the drivers did not. That's the only thing that we can, well, generously speculate here. So Oliver Goethe comes into pit lane. We believe we'll have to go back. In fact, our timing screen is now showing 17 laps and the red flag, so he will. We believe this is provisional. This is a big asterisk at the end of this statement. We believe Goethe will take the victory despite Mansell going through and heartbreakingly missing out on the victory in bizarre circumstances at the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, they're all coming up into Parc Ferme. There you can see Vladislav Lomko just pulling up alongside that of Ollie Goethe. According to the timing screens, there's your winner, Oliver Goethe, the Great Dane. He takes yet another win, and these are the results. Oliver Goethe is your winner, folks. And second place goes to Christian Mansell. Vladislav Lomko in 3rd as well, Josh Mason in 4th. Frederick Lubin in 5th with Ayrton Simmons in 6th. Francesco Simonazzi down in 7th. Unfortunately, we lost Alex Garcia and Daniel Nogales. And that is your classification for this race here at Austria.
We believe. Provisional. The driver's trying to work out what has happened there. There is Christian just speaking with his brother. And Ollie Goethe, well, that is win number?
Win number 10.
Anyway, you overtook me and fucking pissed me off. So.
I saw that. Don't worry, we can play the games too.
It's a red flag, so I won.
Yeah. He wants to fucking play that?
The last before, the red flag.
Well, Ollie Goethe suggesting that he did see the red flag, which would, well, hopefully explain quite a bit here at the Red Bull Ring. Has taken the victory in bizarre circumstances. Mansell 2nd and Lonko 3rd. Alfredo is down in pit lane to interview Oliver for the 10th time in 2022.
Should I wait first?
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Vladislav Lonko, good drive, didn't quite make victory lane. Position 3 after leading the early stages of the race. Mansell did briefly take the lead at the end of the race, finishes in position 2 but it's win number 10 for Ollie Goethe in car 96. You're in race 1 at the Red Bull Ring. He's down in pit lane. Let's hear from the race winner, who's with Alfredo.
Oliver Goethe, another win, and definitely an interesting end of the race.
Yeah, fuck, that was tricky out there. Yeah, the pace on the dry was really good. I managed to defend Vlad, who was quite quick initially. And then I managed to pull a gap. The pace was really good and consistent. I was pulling a gap to Christian. Then it started to rain and I struggled a lot. Obviously, there's a championship in play, so I don't want to take massive risks. And yeah, in the end, it was red flag. So yeah, I got the win in the end.
Well done, it's good for the championship.
Yeah, no, it's great for the championship, of course. I'm not dropping points on anyone, so yeah, it's perfect.
Well done, all the best. Yes.
Race 1 here at the Red Bull Ring. Ollie Goethe from pole position did not get the best start, and Vlad Lomko from grid 2 up the inside of the championship leader to lead the opening stages of the race. Good start by Josh Mason and Christian Mansell. This was before the end of the first lap. Daniel Nogales on debut in Euroformula Open, out along with the Mexican Alex Garcia. At the restart, Goethe held the race lead, which he would ultimately pull out. Christian Mansell up the inside and Vladislav Lomko to go through into second place. The gap was 1.9 seconds. Francesco Simonazzi on the back of Frederick Lubin. A fantastic fight between these two drivers for the majority of the race. Then it started raining. Simonazzi going around at the top of the hill. Ayrton Simmons on his return to Euroformula Open. That was a nervous moment for Ollie Goethe. The gap was 1.9 seconds between Goethe and Mansell. And briefly, the Australian would go through to take the lead. The race was red flagged, and Ollie Goethe takes his 10th victory and consolidates his lead in the 2022 championship. Lomko in third place, Mansell in second, and Ollie Goethe takes the victory. Race 1, round 7, the 2022 Euroformula Open Championship here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria.
Yeah, wonderful win indeed. We will have the national anthem of Denmark as well played here for Ollie Goethe's victory here at Austria for race 1. What an occasion for him as he steps closer to the championship. 10 wins going to the Great Dane.
Hey guys!
Lomko third, Mansell second. Goethe takes the victory in race 1. Thanks for your company. We'll be back just before 10:30 local time from the Red Bull Ring in Austria for race 2, round 7 of the 2022 championship. Thanks for your company. We'll see you tomorrow.